Okay, so for my scientific literature research presentation, I decided to research more about early intervention aligners, also known as phase 1 therapy, or Invisalign first. And to do that, I read the article Aligner Treatment in Phase 1 by Regina Blevins. And what this article primarily looks at is how and why we would use Invisalign as a first phase of treatment in severe orthodontic cases. So typically in children with severe orthodontic conditions such as mandibular protrusion, torsiversion, crowding, facially or lingually positioned teeth, and who are in mixed dentition, so between the ages of 6 and 10, and why Invisalign could be beneficial in these cases. So the results of the study are valid. It was published by the Journal of Clinical Orthodontics, which is a reputable source, and the author is highly educated in her field of study. And the results are that Invisalign first will move the primary teeth into an area that we would later want the permanent teeth to erupt into. And by doing that, the permanent teeth are allowed to erupt into a more optimal environment, meaning that then they will wind up in a more desirable position, which then allows phase 2 therapy, which would be your traditional braces or Invisalign, to be much more straightforward, a smoother process, typically quicker. It won't be as physically traumatic either, especially because when these children are younger, their bone is going to be more forgiving. However, it was also discussed that results are highly dependent on patient and parent compliance. So that's important to me because I know that when I'm educating my patient and their parent, I need to stress ways to not lose their retainer, that it's important to put your retainer back in when you're done eating, stuff like that. And the results will help me in caring for my patient, not only, again, with educating them on, strategies of making sure that the retainer is getting worn enough and not losing it, but also to identify who might be good candidates for this treatment and being able to request that the dentist talks to these patients and their parents about this option. And I could apply these results in clinical practice, again, with education, making sure that I'm really cleaning around any of the buttons, but also if a family's on the edge about whether or not this could be beneficial for their child, I could provide this article and show them the case studies that were provided in the pictures and show them really how beneficial this treatment can be even before braces or Invisalign later occurs. And then the outcomes in clinic that I would expect to see, I would expect that these children, their permanent teeth would erupt into a desirable location. I would expect that once they go into braces or Invisalign later, that they would have a much smoother and quicker treatment. And that, again, when they're older, they'd most likely have increased compliance because they grew up learning to be responsible over their Invisalign at a younger age. So that was my research, and I'm excited to see how Invisalign first might become more popular and how treatment will impact these children with severe orthodontic conditions in the future. So yeah, thank you.